I am not the biggest belt guy. I mean, after a while, whether you like something or don't like something, it just kind of becomes commonplace. Then I realized there are just other problems in the world to worry about. The results are in though, my friends, because everybody at What Culture sat down and thought about this, so go and get yourself a cup of cocoa. And let's rank the worst right to the best. Number 20, the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. I mean, they are okay, which I think is the issue. In 2024, companies go out of their way to have sparkly titles, so if you don't live up to this bar, well, fans look at it and go, no sir, I don't like it. The weird little ears don't help, and it kind of looks like the headphones some Twitch streamers wear. And also, as for the white leather, well, somehow that colour makes all the negative bits stand out a bit more. Personally, I genuinely think it comes down to the way that they have been booked on television, because people just don't see this as prestigious. Like, if somebody did go on a mega run, all of a sudden I think they would look better. It's just how your brain works. Number 19, AEW's FTW title. I mean, I think it is meant to look this way. After all, it's not an officially recognized belt. I do enjoy the orange that has been put in there because, of course, it's a wink and nod to Taz, who invented this thing. I just think it's pretty cool that his legacy has started so long, we can still have one of these in 2024. It could absolutely have a bit of an extra spruce, though. This is actually a more is more situation. Get some diamonds or something and throw it on that thing, but again, it's meant to be the Flub the World Championship, probably supposed to look a bit drab. Number 18, the Ring of Honor World title. So this is another throwback, and quite clearly Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor because he just loves the place, so you want to keep everything that they did have way back in the early 2000s. Now Silver is an interesting choice because of course you're meant to be the top guy, but once again it ties into where ROH was back in the day. They couldn't afford gold, so they went for silver. So when you do watch this, you're meant to feel nostalgic in your tum-tum. So if you do know the story, it's a nice title. And if you don't, yes, you are going to think to yourself, well, it's just a little bit lacking. Number 17, the Intercontinental title. So, I do not agree with this one. That's right, I told you. We live in a democracy, so I have to deal with it. Really though, the Intercontinental Championship is always going to be fighting a losing battle, because everybody loves that one from the late 80s into the early 90s. And I'm one of those guys too. That thing rocked. If we can just focus on the brand new one though and not get lost in history, I think this one looks damn good. Mostly because Gunther walked around with it for ages and he gave it prestige, so now it feels prestigious. Math. Also, if you want to play the comparing game, this is way better than what WWE had for almost 2 decades. I'm good with it. Number 16, the NXT Tag Team titles. But there are plus points here. I think the use of gold and silver has deliberately done to try and make you go, oh hey, NXT is a pathway to the main roster, so while it's great you won this one, bigger things are around the corner. People seem to not like those triangles. I think they're very aesthetically pleasing. Although, yeah, that massive NXT logo is a bit like, my face. But this is just modern day marketing, man. I mean, it's really easy to get someone to go, well, what is NXT? You Google it, and then maybe you become a fan. It's pretty smart. The classics, though, were really good at hiding that and kind of just putting it in the corner and going for feel more than anything else. But welcome to 2024, man. You better get used to it. Number 15, the AEW Trios title. Now, I'm a huge fan of the way they look like because they could be slotted right into the 80s or the 90s. But at the same time, they don't really have any individual quality. I just think they need to scream trios more. Not literally, that would be terrifying. You don't want to gimmick them too much. But even though they do have the word on it, you do kind of have to search for it, because all the colours kind of mush into one. This could be another one in the sense that no wrestlers or team of wrestlers have had a proper run with this. So if they did do, you can then take all of the memories and associate them with these championship belts. I suppose we just have to be patient and bored, hurry up. Number 14, the AEW Continental title. And I'll tell you why, because if all of a sudden you throw it in with those trios championships, I don't think I'd notice. There's also a crown on this belt which is the same colour as the rest of it, so that fades into it too. But let's not get silly here. Clearly it is meant to be a big deal, because do you know who's currently holding it? It's Flub and Okada. It is also covered in gold, so it's telling you, oh my gosh, you should care about this thing. But honestly, if I just held this championship up right now and told you which one is it, would you actually know the answer? I think it could be no. Number 13, the WWE Tag Team titles. So here comes my bias, because there are 2 versions of the WWE Tag Team titles at the moment, and I think there should only be one, so we can come up with a super duper mega design and just dive in deep. It is another nod to the 80s and 90s though, and boy how did people love these when they got revealed, but once again, that's because most modern new WWE belts haven't been very good, so if nothing else, this was a vast improvement. So it just proves that we are moving in the right direction, and I've used Google Maps. It's a good thing. Number 12, the World Championship for the men, or the World Championship for the women. They're exactly the same. Now, I actually think over the coming years, as we do get used to it, this is going to get even better, because quite clearly this is paying homage to WCW's big gold belt. Honestly, do a survey right now, everybody loves that thing. As ever though, apparently the reason this does get dragged down is the whole marketing social media thing, because slap bang in the middle is the WWE logo. But listen, my friends, they ain't ever going to change this, so if you don't like it, you're never going to like it, and if you can get used to it, well, that's not going to keep you up at night, so that's good. Number 11, the men and women's NXT title. Once again, they're the same. Now this one is totally different, colourful, and kind of nuts in many ways, but it's also the way they've used the logo. Like, you have the giant X in the middle of the thing, but then you notice the N, and you notice the T, and that just makes it really quite intriguing. It also has extra colour in there because this is from the 2.0 era, and as we have got here, nobody is allowed to bitch and moan about that anymore, because even though it was an absolutely wild ride, all the things that WWE has learned from it, including these belts, well, I'm a major fan. So if you want to come at me, you can. There's a comment. Number 10, the AEW International title. As I record this video, is dead. MJF threw it in the trash. It of course will come back eventually, and at first glance is a little bit bad looking. Actually, when you look at it finer detail with like a magnifying glass or something, it's just the way that it's built that I actually think conveys the message very well. Because the actual size of thing is quite big, much like a world championship, so that draws people in. But also, there's just bits of colour everywhere that says, oh hey ho, we are going to travel around the world with this thing. And really, that should be the main point. If you can tell someone that's never watched wrestling before what this belt represents, then you deserve a cookie. It's also very heavily inspired by the NWA. And look at me, I'm a massive nerd. Ain't never gonna get mad by that. Number 9, the AEW TNT and TBS titles. It's just the banner underneath that's red and it says champion in it. I love it. I don't know why. Sometimes simple things work, which kind of sums up my life. And the whole thing is just so understated, which actually makes me a massive hypocrite because we criticize that elsewhere. But sometimes you can just come up with a design and you can look at it with your eyes and go, yep, that thing has done the job. In fact, I actually probably should have put it higher in this list. Once again, people are conspiring against me. Number 8, the TNA World Championship. I mean, look at that thing. It has taken inspiration from so many belts throughout the years, but it also has an individual unique entity to it. This thing absolutely rules. It also kind of looks modern too, so we are crossing all audiences, and this is a masterclass in how to use your logo and not make it overly garish. If you did win this thing, I bet you'd wrap it round your waist and you'd feel like the man. It's also got more red in it, so as we are learning, if you can get red on your belt, you probably should. But not blood, that's disgusting. Number 7, the WWE men's title and the WWE women's title. Now I think we gravitate towards this one more just because it has been around for ages. Really, this was the first belt that WWE did come out with. They were like, look what's in the middle, it's our logo, and whoever does win it is just going to have their side plates. But have you seen how popular side plates have become over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years? Keep that in your head. So if you want to tell me on paper this doesn't work, I'd probably agree with you, but then I see it around the waist of Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, and I just think there is something working here when I dive into my mind. Well, it's what I do think of when someone says WWE champion. So sue me. Number 7, the AEW World Women's Championship. So the original one of these was kind of funny because it was so small, but then we did a redesign and we came up with this thing. It's like a Filofax. I don't even know what that means. But all the little compartments it has, and it's kind of got a rectangular feel to it, even though it is a circular belt, this thing stands on its own 2 legs, and when you do see somebody come out wearing it, they feel like a champion. The AEW logo isn't too big either, and look at that world, that globe, that earth, right slap bang in the middle. I'm not sure who makes AEW belts, I'm sure you do, and now you're mad at me, but this thing knocks it out of the park. Number 5, the NXT Men's and Women's North American Championship. Now it's probably because it has a distinct leather strap, but also, if you told someone they'd found this in the 1970s, they would absolutely believe you. Look, I'm becoming an old man, so it just pleases me. It also really works in NXT, which actually feels like quite a future promotion because it does ground it in the past. And never change this unless you come up with a really good idea. Like it stands out a mile when somebody is wearing it. I'm a huge fan. Number 4, the WWE World Tag Team titles. Now once again, the previous ones to this weren't very good, but they're just so round. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's because I've got a big round oval head, but when I look at these, I just think it's terrific. And I know it looks like a big pasta or pizza bowl or something like that, but that does mean we've snuck the red in there too. This is another one where clearly someone has just like hodgepodged everything together, but the end result absolutely rules. And also looks expensive, which probably means WWE has inflated the price. and almost like a gladiator could win it. I don't know what that means, but look at it harder. Now you agree. Number 3, the WWE United States title. I know, in many ways, it's garish. It's like talking to a stupid person. I'm sorry, what did you say? I said I'm the champion. But you've got the eagle on there, you've got the US flag, and you just have all these little tidbits that you can actually see more the longer you stare at it. Some things don't have to work in your head in order to work in real life. Once again, I don't know what that means, but I like this belt. It is probably the use of color and the fact it's not going WWE. I'm a bit worried that WWE may actually change this soon, but don't do it. There's just something to it, and I can't figure it out. Number 2, the AEW World Men's title. I mean, everybody agrees with this, even me. AEW sat down and decided, listen, we are a brand new company. Our belt needs to rule. And they did it. I mean, yes, a lot of it is overstated, but there are jewels on this thing. And once again, it comes down to the message we're trying to get across. If you are a world champion, you should be being treated like a big deal. Hence why somebody says, oh hey, here's a belt that costs a lot of money, and I'm giving it to you because I think you're the best. It is also huge, but not for the sake of it. I don't know why I like big belts, but I cannot lie. If you are going to make it your tippity top title, you don't want it to be tiny, because that would be dumb. So yeah, AEW should have this for the next 10 years, because then think about the historical content it will have too. Winner. Number 1, the AEW World Tag Team titles. Well, no, not the winner, because everybody went with these instead. They're actually quite noisy, because the most prominent thing is the whole world champion. But once again, this just taps into the past, while also kind of having a unique feel. And if I were to hazard a guess, it's probably because when AEW started, American wrestling wasn't really taking tag team wrestling seriously. And now here we are in 2024, and we've done a total 180. I really do think here as well that deliberately so we have tapped into those classic belts from the 80s and 90s that we remember from WWE. And this is smart, my friends, if you do have a casual viewer who is flicking by, and you can grab that memory, well, they may just stay on the channel, and then you've got a brand new watcher. Now, of course, all of this was gibberish because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so get in those comments and let me know what you think is the best belt right now, and bam, click this video on the screen. It is me ranking more things for you. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by, my friends. I massively appreciate you, and I have a belt. Where is it? I have no idea. It's the Winged Eagle belt, which would be number 1 in the world. I've genuinely lost it. That thing cost a lot of money.